Hi friends. How about we strip it right down to the core? Skeletons are pretty neat things, you know. It's so bizarre that the blood is made in the bones. I mean, it is to me. I think we, as children, tend to think of bones as rather inert. All we ever see is dead ones. And we don't think about them being alive, but they really are. Much more so, I guess, than our hair or our nails. I don't know about the teeth. They're plugged in, I guess. Are they alive? Are they not? I don't know. I guess everything is. I mean, come on. Why not? It's all made of consciousness. Well, it seems to me there's going on more of a sorting out. And whatever way people are choosing to go, they're choosing that. And you may be getting some resistance to who and what you are and the way you're choosing to walk. Let's all remember, if somebody has a problem with you, they're outside of their boundaries. Their business is themselves, and your business is yourself. You're the expert on you. So please don't be put down or intimidated. Take your power back and recognize that that's their problem. And, go from there. Now, I guess everybody knows who Eckhart Tolle is. There are not an infinite number of people who can sit still enough to listen to him, though. And I was just doing that. And I'm in heart a lot. You guys know that. I decided, though, to play it his way. He wants you not to be in mind, of course, but he very seldom mentions the heart. He talks of what he calls the inner body, your energetic being. And so I tuned into that. All you have to do is feel the energy in your hands. Even that's enough. And just kind of have an awareness of that as you listen. And I found it worked. I think he's good to listen to. You don't get anything new mentally from listening. But you get another opportunity to just be. To be in the now. He's got a favorite lecture that went down off the web for a while, but it's back. And it's on meditation. I don't know if it's how to meditate or what is meditation or something like that. I'll give you a link. He's got a really good audience for this one. There's a lot of laughter. But it's a reintroduction to just being now. And just being now works every bit as good as what I call being in heart. Maybe there's another way. Okay, Mr. Skeleton Man. See, I closed the browser, but I was still downloading something. And Firefox was kind enough not to close down completely. And so that download is still going on in the background. But, it doesn't bother me too much when these things glitch. It's just an image. It's not me. It's not you. It's nothing, really. In a way, it's a play toy. Now, if we could only come back into that awareness about the body-mind, wouldn't that be great? Yeah, you bet it would. Come on, track with me, dude. Thank you. Can we wink? Kinda, sorta. There, we got it going on. All right. Among these video toys, some take up a lot of computer processing power. This is one of them. Actually, I think I could get over the glitches by using one that takes up less. How about this little dude? He's just about as empty, huh? Works for me. And this one, the winking is funny because the eyeballs, the pupil stays. What the heck, huh? Anywho, we get ourselves in trouble all the time. See, look, I wasn't correct. Even though this one takes up less processing power, it hung up too. And I don't want to stop the download. It's like 665 megabytes, 687. And I've got 480 of them done, so pardon me if I'm not going to pitch that. It's 10 hours of forest sounds. How's that for cool? Some people do the coolest things and upload them to YouTube, you know? It's just one picture all the way through, but the sounds they're just awesome. Anyhow, being now, how good are we at that? Here it is, Christmas Day. I have one decoration, and I only have that because it was a gift. A beautiful, surprising gift that came in the mail from, I just never would have expected it. And it's a lovely little 3 candle holder thing. It's lovely. I have to remember to light the candles. I'm just not used to such things. But golly, on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I've been pretty good about it. Decorating. I haven't been celebrating holidays of any kind. Not Christmas, not birthdays, not anything. Memory got so questionable, I would forget important dates, and I got tired of that. And I don't want people feeling obligated, you know. I think a lot of the gift giving comes from a sense of obligation, you know. You're related to somebody and it's just expected. I don't like that. I want to live in a more real way. And so, haven't sent Christmas cards or anything like that out basically ever. I was very tickled to get one from my niece. It just warmed my heart so. And that's a real thing, you know. That's not an obligation thing. And it's very sweet. So being in now, how good are we at it? I really feel more and more like a two-sided coin. And I know I contain both sides, the grand and the small. And yet, 3D life is very, very strange, in my humble opinion. So odd. We're so grand. We have such abilities as are unimagined by mind. And yet, mind still has a hold of us. And mind has been programmed. And it has all kinds of ideals and ideas that don't mesh with truth. And those of us that are awakening, I think, are mostly lovers of truth. It takes something like that in order to wade through the bullshit. There's so much of it out there, and it's just so convenient to go along with it. And so I think you almost have to have this love of truth in order to be willing to go against the stream. Actually, we go with the stream, but we definitely go against the crowd. And not a lot of people understand us. And so there's a part that is strictly 3D, strictly human, somewhere in the body, mind, and or emotions, that wants to be understood, that wants to be seen, heard, listened to, recognized. And so we part with that at some point. Because if we don't, it will just drag us back down into going with the crowd. And once you've turned your back on that, well, you know, I think you'll put up with pretty much whatever comes your way in your new chosen path, where you're dancing to the beat of your own inner drummer. There's a lot of hurt involved. Don't think there's not. You know, this waking up thing isn't something, usually, isn't something magical that just happens one day, like it did to Eckhart. Something like that also happened to David Icke. He just got himself in some hot water by not waiting until he had integrated it before speaking out. And when he claimed to be one with God, it was so not understood. And so, you know, we bring on our own challenges in a way. It takes years to adapt to a massive awakening, or even an NDE, which is in its own way an awakening, is it not? I think it is. And so it's common for people 3, 5, 7 years out to still not have digested and assimilated all that occurred. So if you're having a bit of a hard time of it, well, love yourself through it, huh? Cut yourself some slack. The air gets mighty thin where we're going. And I've got this new thing going on where, as I shared in a recent video, I no longer have a God to pray to. I don't know. Once we recognize self as that, it's pretty bizarre. It's the sense of separation dying away. What I've only had momentarily in this life is a sense of oneness with it all. What is it, Kismet? It's okay, doggy. That sense of ultimate oneness. So things come in stages most of the time. And this major aspect of separation and duality fell away. The sense of an external God. And so I'm in process of adapting to that. And you know how it is. I mean, it's normally when things get tough and you start getting beat up on a little bit that you turn to prayer. And now when I go there, it's like, well, what am I going to do? Pray to myself? I don't think so. I don't know. You know? I'm really glad to know about my soul family, and I'm really glad to know of my spiritual guide. We may have many, but I know of one, and that's enough. And you see, these things will fall away one day too, because things cannot continue to exist in separation from us. The closer and closer we approach truth, well, it's like Eckhart says, you find that you are the space that things happen in. And it's like namaste. I am another you. You are another me. And so the world is a mirror in a way, and I guess that includes all the dimensions. Cuddles and Kismet like to play. It's so strange, the cat, I don't think has ever hissed at him. And he bugs that kitty just constantly. Sometimes they romp through the house. Of course, a lot of times Cuddles gets fed up and doesn't want to be mauled around. So Kismet's not allowed up on the furniture, and Cuddles has his retreats. It's nice. It's an amazing thing that he's so friendly with the dog. Anywho, so separation falls away. One day I'll recognize myself in these pets. Right now I have the mental knowing that that's the case, but that doesn't count for much. Not when we're talking about awakening, because when we're talking about awakening, it has to be what you have directly experienced. And once you've had an experience and you hear someone talking about it, it's then that you know. You know at least roughly what they mean. You have something to go by. A lot of it is so bizarre that until we too have that experience, we can't really claim it. I don't know. On the other hand, the namaste thing is the case. Life is really a mirror for us. Everything is mirroring us. Everything is our own creation, is another way to say it. And that's also true. Well, trying to figure things out, I haven't found is a successful way to approach this. I think just trying to be in now, or in the inner body, or in the heart, or whatever your version is, I think that's my way. And being content, not knowing. Be right back. Well, that was really cool. That was my brother calling to remind me to drip the water, because it's supposed to get down into the teens tonight. Below 0 in centigrade for sure. No, yeah, whatever. Below freezing. And I have the water dripping, only I turned the hot water on to drip, and I just learned that you're supposed to turn the cold water on. That the hot water will freeze up faster than the cold. You know, you're never too old to learn something new. Now, why my little buddy isn't working for me, I'm just not going to worry about it, folks. It just is what it is. Now, do I have any? Of course I have more to say. I'm not going to take an artificial interruption like a phone and have it mean anything. Okay, so what else do I have to really share? I don't know. I've been really sad. I've shed some tears today. There've been some challenging communications going back and forth. But that's okay too. I mean, it just is what is. We've got to know that we're all different facets of the one. And we are all one big family. But that doesn't mean everybody's going to understand everybody else or get along. And I think there has to be room in us for that. We have to allow people to go their own way, think their own thoughts, and not appreciate us. That has to be a part of it. And if we're in ego, we have more of a problem with this. As we're moving into heart or into now, we recognize more easily that if someone has a problem with us, again, they've exceeded their boundaries. Their boundaries are the self, and our boundaries are the self. None of us are in charge of anyone else, and that includes your children. You know, we want to look down on children and think they're little and don't know anything, and one day soon we'll find out how very wrong that is. They come in knowing ever so much and connected, much more connected with what is than the adults who have been programmed. And so I think we have a lot of conscious parenting going on, though, and I celebrate that. It's good for all of us, not just them and their kids. We need these children to grow up as unsullied and unspoiled as possible. Hopefully as unvaccinated as possible. I mean, physically, mentally, emotionally unpolluted as much as possible. We need them. Each one comes in with a piece to the puzzle, and none of us is more important than another, and our children are just as important as we are. And that can be hard to face, because usually when we're doing our parenting, we're young enough not to have had oodles and gobs of experience with life, and so we're not in our wisdom age. I used to laugh and say that it's mostly children who are raising the children. You know, when you're in your 20s and 30s, you're not that old. This body turns 60 this month. Then again, the other side of that little coin is that we're really ageless. We're infinitely old. And we're eternal. We're not born and we don't die. I think it's fun being open to such things. You know, it catches the mind up in its tracks, and it makes it sit back for a moment and say, whoa, what the heck? And ponder some new things. And that's really good. I think it's when we get identified too much with mind that we're in ego. And we get to thinking we know something. It's really good to know that we do and we don't. We really don't know even who we are while we're in these forms. We're cut off from a lot. And I'm going to project and assume it's because we need to be in order to play the game. I mean, if you absolutely knew everything and every next thing that was going to happen, everything that had ever happened, if you knew everyone and all of their incarnations and everything about them, how much fun would this game be? How different would it be? And how many really, truly new things would be learned, would come up? I don't know. So it's a really good idea to make peace with not knowing and to be okay with it, not to resist it. It's okay not to know. Sure, I'd prefer, there's some part of me that would prefer to already be linked up with higher mind and have a lot more of that knowledge, if not all of it. But that's not my current reality, and so I'm okay with that. I mean, a lot of us, if we could make it be so, we would. Right? I wonder what we're looking to get from that, or what we're looking to run from. I think not knowing is a really important part of this journey to make friends with. It's what helps keep us humble, too. And we need some humility, or we'll get to thinking we know more than everyone else, and that's no good. I mean, that doesn't feel good to you or them, right? That's no fun. So it's important to know we're also all equal. One puzzle piece to another. Merry Christmas and Namaste. Let's all remember, if somebody has a problem with you, they're outside of their boundaries. Their business is themselves, and your business is yourself. You're the expert on you. So please don't be put down or intimidated. Take your power back and recognize that that's their problem. And, go from there. Now, I guess everybody knows who Eckhart Tolle is. There are not an infinite number of people who can sit still enough to listen to him, though. And I was just doing that. And I'm in heart a lot. You guys know that. I decided, though, to play it his way. He wants you not to be in mind, of course, but he very seldom mentions the heart. He talks of what he calls the inner body, your energetic being. And so I tuned into that. Hi, friends. How about we strip it right down to the core? Skeletons are pretty neat things, you know. It's so bizarre that the blood is made in the bones. I mean, it is to me. I think we, as children, tend to think of bones as rather inert. All we ever see is dead ones. And we don't think about them being alive, but they really are. Much more so, I guess, than our hair or our nails. All you have to do is feel the energy in your hands. Even that's enough. And just kind of have an awareness of that as you listen. And I found it worked. I think he's good to listen to. You don't get anything new mentally from listening. But you get another opportunity to just be. To be in the now. He's got a favorite lecture that went down off the web for a while, but it's back. And it's on meditation. I don't know if it's how to meditate. I don't know about the teeth. They're plugged in, I guess. Are they alive? Are they not? I don't know. I guess everything is. I mean, come on. Why not? It's all made of consciousness. Well, it seems to me there's going on more of a sorting out. And whatever way people are choosing to go, they're choosing that. And you may be getting some resistance to who and what you are and the way you're choosing to walk.